like 100 times today. Yeah, hopefully with this I get to make it through. Now, as I promised that we'll have this live chat or live stream today. Too sorry, and like I'm sorry for not having made it in time, but regardless, let's get to share a few data sets or a few insights that I wanted to share with you in the earlier on as I had promised. So now today I want to start with a question. Have you ever thought of yourself, or have you ever thought of an idea, a perfect plan, or a dream that you had yourself for years? Yeah. But down the road, 2 years, 3 years, 2 months, days, even like forever, you still stuck onto that dream, you're still stuck onto that goal, you're still stuck onto that perfect plan that you had. Well, if you have, then this is probably going to be the the live stream that is going to give you the clearest insights, the live stream that is going to give you the clearest understanding of why you are like that, of why the reasons of you having such things do exist. Yeah. So today we are going to dig deeper into one of the reasons or some of the key reasons as to why we as humans we get to be held back. Yeah. And for those of you who want to have a logical flow of how this is going to end, so this is how we're going to run this live stream. First, this is going to be broken down into three-part sessions, where in the first session, we're going to talk about the common traps, yeah, that get people held back or that hold people back. And then, as we all know, for every trap, there's an underlying um, root cause, yeah. And for this case, we're going to look at the root cause as the second session part. And then after that, the final session is going to be about how do we even get to break free? How do we get to break free from the root cause? Yeah, because after all, it's the goal that we want to target. Okay. Now, without wasting much of your time, why don't we just even jump into the data set and see what are some of the common traits that everyone out there, especially those who think they're held back, those who have had dreams, those who have had plans, have failed to make it. Yeah. So, as for one, based on the experience, yeah, because I would want to share much of my experience. And if you do relate with some of these experiences, maybe you can feel free to hop on and let me know in the chats what gets to resonate with you, like what makes it even worth it. Okay. So, starting off with one, the first common trap that most people out there are facing is one, fear of judgment. Yeah. Well, I see about that in people in chat, and that's great. But let's just continue on. Yeah. So one of the most key things that holds people back is the fear of being judged, fear of being told that you're going to fail. Yeah. In overall, your fear is based on, I mean, your not starting is based on the fears that you're going to fail in business. Yeah? Yes, I understand. As you start out, things are not clear. As you start out, you're not even aware of what it is that you're going to do. You don't know how long you're going to last in business. And perhaps there are more reasons as to why. But the example I can give is that one, maybe you wanted to start a business earlier this year. For those of you who had a resolution of, yeah, I would like to have my own business by Jan 1st, 2025. And maybe you said, I want to start up a business. But deep down, you feel like, yeah, you're not worthy. Like, you're not good enough to sustain that business. You're not worthy. You're not good enough to get that business running. Yeah? Probably there's some of the reasons as to why you think like that. But the most common one is fear. You're held back from not starting. You're held back from not taking action simply because you're fearful. You're fearing what people are going to say about you. Yeah. Maybe you don't make it in life. Oh, like maybe you don't make it in business. Maybe your business lasts about 2 to 3 years. Perhaps that's what your fear. That's what your fear is all about. But let me tell you this: never let fear hold you back. And we'll get to see this as time goes on or as we proceed with the sessions. But that is one of the common traps. Now, the second common trap that we're going to look at is overthinking. or what some people like to term as perfectionism. Yeah. For those of you who are so concerned about being perfect, I know most of you want to be so clinical, so smart, like you want everything to be aligned in a proper way before you get to start. But I want to tell you one thing: perfectionism is the root cause of you not trying to take action. Yeah. So hear me out. Probably you wanted to write a book. Yeah. I know there are some authors that get to follow me. There's some authors I follow. Maybe you want to be an influencer on X, on LinkedIn, and one of the ways you'd want to attract your followers is through writing. Yeah. And as means of overthinking, as means of wanting to be so much of a perfectionist, you keep writing drafts. You keep writing drafts. This has ever happened to me because let me tell you, I've written like most of my notebooks here. They have ideas, but guess what gets to happen? Like I just want to have that perfect idea, which is, as you can see, I have lots of books. It has taken me forever until when I decided to start, regardless of whether it's perfect, regardless of whether it's not perfect. So, my friend, don't let that trap hold you back. And then the other one is the lack of clarity. And to some of you, it is not the lack of clarity that you have. Maybe you figured out what the first step to taking action was, but you're stuck on what to do next. Some of you don't even know what to do next. Yeah. So you're held back because one, you're not clear of what to do. And if this is the case, I've made videos, like long videos of how to get clear of what you want to have to do in business. If it is business, what kind of business do you have to get to make? Yeah, what kind of decisions do you have to take in order to make this work out? I've made that video. So stop obsessing over lack of clarity as something that stops you or holds you back from starting. Now, for those of you who don't understand or who don't really, um, who are held back because they don't understand the next steps to take, well, just do whatever feels right for you. Yeah. Because when the time is right, you'll never be held back. You'll always figure out. I always tell people that I myself don't get to know what next moves I have to take, but it is until when I get there, everything gets to add up. Yeah. So the more you take action, clarity gets to form in its way. You get to hang around with people that will guide you. You get to hang around with a network that will lead you into the next step. So don't fall for that trap. And then maybe finally, and this is so much into the youths of maybe under 25 years, that is the comfort zone addiction. Yeah. You're so much addicted into not wanting to struggle. You don't want to stress. Yeah. Every time you're told that, man, you're going to hustle, you're going to sweat, you feel like your bed is much comfortable than the street. Yeah. So most of you, this is holding you back. I don't want to drink so much about it, but if any of these things I've talked about get to resonate with you, just let me know that chat. Let me know that, yo, this is what is resonating. This is what's holding me back. If it is the comfort zone addiction, just type it in the chat and I'll get to follow up on you to see how we can do away with it. Yeah. So far we've covered the first session of the common root traps or traps that get to hold us back. And one, we said, for those of you who have just joined in, we said the fear of being judged or fear of failure. The second thing we've talked about is um, perfectionism or overthinking. And then the other one is the lack of clarity, or you're stuck on what next step to take. Like you're not clear of what next step to take. And then lastly, uh, lastly, under this first session is the comfort zone addiction. So now that that's out of the way, as I told you, for every reason that gets to happen, there is a true underlying cause. Yeah. So far we've seen the traps, but what are the true underlying root causes of those traps that we've talked about? And that is what we're heading into for this next session. Yeah. So for those of you who are joining in, yeah, welcome aboard. And just maybe let me know, where are you watching this from? And is this time even comfortable? Yeah. So I'm trying to practice some of the things I tell you about, that start even when you're not ready. So yeah, doing my first live stream, which I've messed up long time. Anyway, to the second session. Yeah. And this is, I made some notes to guide me for this so that I don't over bubble with words. Now, next sessions. What are the real causes that get to trigger the common traps that we fall for? One, we always one of the root causes is the identity conflict. So let me try and explain what this identity conflict is. Yeah? So you always have that thought in your mind that, yo, am I even really the right guy for this kind of job? Say you're appointed as a chief operating officer in one of the offices or one of the big companies. So the first thing that is going to come into your mind will be like, am I even the first person? Like, am I even the right person to go in or stand in for this job? Yeah. So you keep having that identity thing, and for most of you, this has led you to quit taking action. Yeah. To it has made you get stuck into the research mode. Yeah, you feel like you're not yet ready. You have to research more about what chief operating officers do. You have to get into the research mode to understand everything that has to do with starting a business. And what does that end up and what does that end up leading into? It makes you a person who is always like, you always want to try things, but you're not executing on what you want to try. Yeah. And that makes you lose your identity. So you're confused of you're in between the confusion of trying and executing. So you don't know which is which. Yeah. Now that is one of the root cause. The second root cause is the subconscious beliefs. Yeah. Now, the best way I can explain this, I'm going to explain it in terms of thoughts. Yeah. Subconsciously, you have this belief that, what if you're not good enough? I had this when I first started this YouTube thing. I always thought that I wasn't good enough to sit before the camera. Like I wasn't good enough to take action. Like I wasn't good enough to even pass on this kind of information I'm trying to deliver to you. Yeah? And I'm so grateful for you who are watching, that you're watching what I'm trying to share. Yeah. So at least you give me the purpose of thinking to myself that, yo, it isn't like how I thought it would be. It is not that I wasn't good. It's just that I wasn't ready to deliver what I'm delivering to you. So big up to you. So for those of you having this subconscious belief that is holding you back, you're always thinking of yourself as people who are not good enough. Yeah. So maybe back in the days, maybe back in the past lives, people used to tell you, and these people, when I say people, I mean maybe some of your parents, like either your mom or your dad, teachers, elders, brothers or sisters. Yeah, they kept on haunting you with words like, yo, you're not worthy, you're not ready to do it. And now 10, 3, maybe 30 years from now, you still hold on to that memory of thinking that you're not good enough because they told you that you aren't good enough. Yeah. So that is a subconscious belief that you put in your mind, that got stuck in your mind, and it is still haunting you to this moment. Yeah. And that is a root cause that is holding you down to this moment. Now, um, the other thing that gets to become the root cause of everything is past conditioning. This is somewhat related to the previous one, but for it is due to two things. It is either one person telling you that, yo, you're not going to make it in life. Just like someone coming to you and be like, yo, you started your business? And you're like, yeah. Then they tell you. For people who have done that for the past 10 years, they haven't made it. Yeah. So they're trying to condition you into thinking that, based on the past experiences of people who have tried this business, none of them go to succeed. So they're using the past experience to condition you. Yeah. And the other way it gets to happen is through bad experience. Let me give an example. Maybe you started a clothing or like a boutique business, yeah, selling clothes and what, and you failed the first time, you failed the second time, you failed the third time, and on the fifth time, you sat down and thought to yourself or talked to yourself and declared that you weren't ready enough, that you weren't in a good state to start. Like you're a failure. Yeah? So using the past experience, you subconsciously triggered or set your mind to say that you're not worthy to start anything. Yeah. So those are the four root causes of any common trap that we spoke of earlier. And just to do a recap on this, we said identity conflict, like you're confused between starting or like executing and researching. And two, we've talked of the subconscious beliefs that get to be imprinted in our minds that we're not yet good enough, we're not the right people for the job. And then third, we've spoken of the bad experiences that get to frame our mind, that get to set our minds for not doing anything, for not executing or taking action, because we've already had bad moments of that. Yeah. But amidst all this, I want you to take on maybe one thing. If it is one thing you can take out from this whole live session, is that our actions get to follow our identity. So your identity isn't defined by your family background or your knowledge also, but it is defined by the actions that you choose to take on. So in the chat, let me know or type ready if you're really willing to commit onto whatever you're choosing to do, not limited by the beliefs you get to have, but just taking on action regardless of the roots or the root causes. Now, finally, how do we get to break free from all these brackets, from all these root causes, from all the traps that we get to face? Now, there are basically four ways we can break free. And just to take you through quick ones. One, you've got to reframe fear. Yeah. So instead of looking at fear as a means of failure, I mean, as a means of non growing, why not look at it from the angle, from the perspective that I am ready, that I've not failed because I've failed, but this failure, I've just learned something from it. And the fact that I've learned something from it, I will never do that same thing ever again. Yeah. So basically, you're trying to frame failure. What is it that has made you fail? That is a lesson that you've picked. Yeah. So instead of looking at failure as failure, but you're looking at failure as a lesson or as something that is teaching you an important and valuable lesson, which you're not going to do again in the near future. Yeah. So there you're reframing fear or failure as something that is so valuable to you, for which it is like the knowledge. Okay. Now, the second thing you're going to do is you're going to build momentum with tiny habits. So this is what I get to mean. For those of you who have ever tried starting up a YouTube channel, there's always that thing that, yo, I need to build a whole YouTube channel or I need to record this 1 hour long podcast. But let me tell you, if that's the route you're taking and you're a beginner, you're headed for failure. You're heading back to the first traps that we talked about, to the first roots that cause the first traps that we talked about. Yeah. So instead, why not say that instead of making hours and hours or 30 hours of podcast or 30 hours of a recorded video, why not start small? Yeah. Why not record 30 seconds of video using your phone like this? Yeah. Probably this is the kind of thing I'm trying to do. I always got held back from doing a live stream. Why? Because I thought it was hard. I thought I wasn't ready. I thought I needed to do live streams with professionals. I thought I needed to like first learn each and every book, each and every mistake out there. But guess what? I'm here today. It's not because that I know everything. It's not because that I know what I'm teaching, but I'm just passing on the experiences of life that I've had myself onto you. How? I just picked up my phone, turned on the camera, and now I'm recording. Yeah. And that is what is it that I want you to try. So basically, I'm trying to build on, I'm trying to build momentum on these tiny actions. Maybe today I'm making a 20 minutes live stream. Maybe 3 years from now, it will be like 30 hours of live stream video with you. Maybe it won't be a phone. Maybe it will be a PC. Who knows? But I'm just taking on my chances with building momentum with tiny, tiny actions. Now, the third one that is very important is to do some environmental shifts. Yeah. And with this, basically you need to change the people you get to hang around with. Because you know the saying that like attracts like. Yeah. If if you're a failure, you're going to attract failure. If you're a winner, you get to attract winners. Probably you see yourself or you perceive yourself to be a failure. Look around the people you're hanging out with. Are they also failures? If they happen to be, then that is a sign enough that says try and hang out with other people. Change the environment. If it's the village you're hanging out with and there are no people who are great or there are no action takers, there are no fast movers, change that village, shift on to another village. Yeah? Because what you need at that time, it is not a group of failures. You need a group of fast movers that are going to hold on to you, that are going to help you, drag you, and pull you along to the success point, that pull you along to the finish line. Yeah? So do some environmental shift. Shift from hanging around with losers to hanging around with winners, from hanging out with slow movers to hanging around with fast movers. That is the third one. Then the fourth one, and probably the most important one that you can use, regardless of whether you have money or not, is that you've got to visualize future pains of inaction versus future rewards of action. So this is what I get to mean. Right now, there are some sorts of action that you have that you want to take as a person. I mean, that you get to think of as a person. Maybe right now you're broke, and that is the pain point you have. So get to ask yourself, if you don't choose to start now, if you don't take action right now, where will you be tomorrow? Yeah. Will it still be like, will you be in a better position tomorrow if you don't take action, or it will be worse? Do you even like the state you're in right now? Because if you don't like the state you're in right now, then trust me, that is so painful. And with this visualization, you've got to use the pain you have at the moment, yeah, and project it further. Are you still going to go through the same pain that you're going through right now, or it is going to be something that is different? If it is the same pain that you're going to go through and you're so comfortable with it, then don't bother taking action. But if you don't feel comfortable with the pain you're having right now, you're broke, your child is sick, your mom is sick, yeah, and there's no way you can help or assist them in any way, and it is haunting you, it is paining you. So use that pain and do something, like take action, because the pains of inaction today are going to be more and more painful in the future. So try and visualize, will the pains of inaction be the same as the pains or the rewards of taking actions? Do the weighing scale. Get to choose whatever gets to work with you. So that is it. That is the message that I had to share with you today. Yes, I understand it has been my roughest first live stream. Yeah, like real live stream. And I'm thankful for this one good time. Kuma. Bro, I'm thankful for you sticking over to watch till this moment. And with that being said, I'll see you because I'm going to set myself to do this live stream at least twice a week. And hopefully my second live stream get to be better than this. So Gutan Kuma, bro, I'm thankful. I'll see you in the next one. Sign out.